Welcome everybody to Mudflood was Armageddon. The Mudflood was the Armageddon. Do not let them tell you anything else unless they are willing to debate you in a fair and honest way. I've sent a link to RJ. Hopefully, he'll be able to join us. In the meantime, we'll soldier on. I'm going to pull up the disclaimer. Look at that. Fair use. All you people watching know that the channel is not trying to tell you that you have to believe this way. Hey, look, I was in this race. I went to a race. I signed up for it. I didn't complete it, but it was a run walk, 3.2 miles. Julie Shepard and Holland Shepard tied for last place. I know Holland Shepard. He had a hip replacement 3 years ago. Julian Holland, Jose and Claire, David and Sophia, married people deciding to walk and support the town. Way to go. Now, there were some other ones. Let's see these pictures. Preservation is not construction. The Quran did not preserve Arabic. Arabic was constructed to preserve the Quran. That is historical reality. This is evidence from smart people confirming what I said. They made up the whole Muslim religion so that the only other people besides the Jews who could believe in a Trinity were completely nuts. I'm going to keep rolling here. Acts 3:21, according to people we'll be studying, emphatically declares that Jesus cannot be released from heaven to come back to earth until all things are restored by the church. Thanks, but no thanks, charismatic helpers. So more than a restoration must take place. They're going to have to do the no hide laws or something. Hey, is there a dip? If you're one of these betting people, something happened yesterday that made the odds jump for another government shutdown because ICE is not really funded. It was funded pending study on January 31st. And now they're going to have a hard time paying for it. You know, I want to get one of these, and I think I could make it or afford it, but very soon, sweating, stretching, and eating organic is going to be a part of my future. Am I sharing the screen? I hope so. Let's see. Nobody's saying I'm not sharing the screen, but there's only one person watching, and that very well could be me. We're going to keep going with the picture time. So there's the thing. We left off on that. Here we go. I like that. Snow thing. Now, I'm thinking RJ might not be available. He might have power out. He might be dealing with the 30 degrees below zero and the crippling wind chill factor. We're going to be looking at a few bells today. Largest bell. You can't make a bell like this today. You can't afford it. As a matter of fact, that copper, because this is what they call 100% bronze, but bronze is like 95% copper. I got a couple of pictures of it. It's still there. You can tourist it to this day. It's the Mingum Bell from 1808. Bodawapaya dedicated it to the Mingum people. It's big. destroyed in the earthquake of 1889. All bells are mysterious. Something going on with the stock market. Did you know that? But it wasn't the only milestone for money. Gold is also going completely crazy. And when gold did something in 2029, we reached that point yesterday. Who knows what that is even talking about? Allegedly, this is a picture of the pedophile Jeffrey Epstein, but his autopsy photo. But allegedly, Lauren, the mortician, kind of a strange person, but makes a living as a mortician. She says the mouth does not stay closed when you're dead. And it takes one of three procedures when they're doing their business, and that'd be after the autopsy, to make a mouth stay shut. Because something about these muscles when you're dead won't keep your mouth shut. It sags open, and your eyes kind of sag open a little bit. She thinks this is fake. Somebody, JWTV, there's a truck pulling it looks like they had to, this girl whose video said, the cops just said, pull over, you got no choice, everybody pull over. You're not being detained, but this truck that takes up both lanes has to go by. It's got these on it. So this is the back of the truck. It takes another semi to push it. It's taken up two things. I mean, how many wheels? So that's big truck in the front. Like, I don't know. That's more than an 18 wheeler. I know that. So it's two double wide long, something going on there in the middle. This is made to be put underground, a big, large steel container with these high pressure, I don't know, bolts and rivets. Got a new website channel I was looking at. All of a sudden, they started putting out tons of info. 4 days ago, they're getting, oh, this is Turning Point USA's website. You can see they are dead in the water. They're not getting very many views because they have 5 million subscribers, and they're having a hard time plucking together, a couple thousand views. Now, 5 years ago, they were getting in the millions. This one 5 months ago. Well, Charlie was still alive 9 months ago. I showed you what they're getting now. 2 years ago, they were still getting 2 million, 2 million. They can get up to 6 million, 4 million, 3 million. They were very popular, but not today. It's a setup. Like this was a setup. Does blood dry that fast without? I mean, did he really get shot, or did it have to say, oh, if they want him dead, what weren't there 3 assassinations in like 2 months? Attempts where, oh, if they want him dead, so dead, we must need him alive because he's going to change the world. Go Donald. You're a Trumpster. Gonna fly now. Look, I was shot in the ear, and now I'm gonna wear this while I'm receiving the nomination. I'm gonna be better than Kamala. It takes me 2 hours to do my hair every day because I'm bald, but people don't like bald people, and I want to give the people what they want, like warp speed vaccinations. That's the same ear. It's got to be. Look at, there's a bullet hole that went right through his ear. Maybe, but not really, because
The
it
story
did.
you think you know about Dorothy and her ruby
Well,
slippers
that's
is a
it.
lie.
that is the all the pictures I have for today. Thank you so much, and I'm going to agree that was a fake assassination. It was contrived. No, I want to tell you, and I want to look you in the eye. Do you believe the Bible? Do you have faith? Has God given you trust in Scripture that some weird things happen? And the Bible, what you are supposed to believe, this is what it teaches. Acts chapter 24, verse 10. The governor motioned for Paul, the apostle Paul, to speak. He began his response, knowing, governor, that you have been judge over this nation for many years, I gladly make my defense. You can verify yourself that no more than 12 days, that's less than 2 weeks ago, I went up to Jerusalem to worship. Yet my accusers did not find me debating anyone in the temple or riling up a crowd in the synagogue or in the city, nor can they prove to you any of their charges against me. I do confess, however, that I worship the God of our fathers according to the way, the truth, and the life, which they call a sect. I believe everything, which is the minimum, that is laid down in the law and written in the prophets. And I have the same hope in God they themselves cherish, that there will be a resurrection, both of the righteous and the wicked. In this hope, I strive always to maintain a clear conscience between God and men. After several years, then, I returned to Jerusalem to bring alms to my people and present offerings. At that time, they found me in the temple, but I was ceremonially clean because he was a Jew and had to do that, and was not inciting a crowd or an uproar. But there were the Jews from Asia. And remember, in Second Timothy, did all of Asia depart Paul or not? Yes, they did. That was the great falling away. I'm going to jump ahead. Then Felix was informed about the way. He had to get his wife, everything, Pontius's wife. Wasn't there a girl, Priscilla, that Festus's wife was going, but they hoped for a bribe. Now it does continue in Acts 25. He gets another trial, standing before the seat of Caesar. He's appealing to Caesar, but you're going to have to believe that Paul was chosen as an apostle, and that's why the Hebrews of that time hated him. Agrippa and Bernice. Now let's see here. He's in hope of the promise of our 12 tribes. Why would any of you consider it incredible that God raises the dead? But there were the Sadducees. He didn't do it. Now, this is what I believe is also the minimum in this pursuit, because this is Paul, what he did in Jerusalem with authority from the chief priests. He put many of the saints in prison, and when they were condemned to death, he cast their vote against them. He, Paul, frequently had them punished in the synagogues, and Paul tried to make them blaspheme. In his raging fury against them, He even went to foreign cities to persecute them. And then this happened. In the pursuit of rounding them up, he was on his way to Damascus with the authority and commission of the chief priests. About noon, O king, as I was on the road, I saw a light from heaven brighter than the sun shining around me and my companions. We fell to the ground, and I heard a voice saying to me in Hebrew, Saul, Saul, why do you persecute me? It is hard for you to kick against the goads. And he asked, who is it? It was Jesus Christ talking to the Apostle Paul. James believed that. Peter believed that. John believed that. The miracles proved that. He was never disobedient, but we were always warned there were going to be wolves in sheep's clothing. If you doubt Paul, you doubt the Bible, thus saith the Lord. I want to look at another Bible verse. The Son of me? Is that how they reference the Father? Someone coming mightier than I? That's just like he's talking about God. The Son of me. Come follow after me. He's going to make them fishers of men. The Father of me. Hear my words, my words. This is coming from a verse. They answered Jesus. If anyone is going to love the Father, what is he going to have to do? John 14:23. Jesus replied, if anyone loves me, he will keep my word. My Father will love him. And it says we. Where did you see that? We will come to him and make our home with him. Anyone loves me, loves me. We're looking for the we and we. No, it's always me, of me, of me. Where is that we will come? It's not there. It's simply not there. Let's start a little bit earlier, around 1420. On that day you will know that I am Father, and you are in me, and I am in you. Whoever has my commandments and keeps them is the one who loves me. The one who loves me will be loved by my Father, and I will love him and reveal myself to him. What type of shenanigans are they pulling here? Oh, it's an apostrophe one. Me, keeping them, he is loving me. What is all of these, the apostrophes with the one? It's not there because he is the one by the Father. Me, and I will love him and will show him myself. There is one God. Let's keep rolling here. This is my algorithm. Let's see what it's got. Is there any weather going on today? Why is that sound so low? Nonprofit fraud, the Clintons. Well, they're still got some storm going on in the morning. Cardiac arrest from the jab. Music shop destroyed. That's that cheapo record. That is part of where they killed another man in Minnesota right in front
of a popular local business goes up in flames, leaving the owner picking up the pieces and wondering what is next.
Local 12's Adam Clements spoke with that owner and joins us now with how this is such a devastating loss for the community of music lovers. Adam?
Yeah, Paula, Lester's Rock and Roll Shop in
So
Middletown
it wasn't Cheapo Records was where the man was killed on that corner. Now, why this one burned down?
was a popular hub, a place where people would gather to talk music and enjoy one another's company. Now, the building that housed that shop is badly damaged. The owner now wondering what happens next.
The call came in Tuesday evening to the shop's owner, Chris Lester.
I closed last night at 7 o'clock, and I got home probably about 7:15 to an alarm call.
Well, maybe it wasn't anything to do with the protest. But the music is going down, doobie-doo, down, down. Let's see. Talking about the bells, I am sharing the screen. Look at this one. 294 tons in 1484. They didn't match that for ever. So this was the world's largest bell ever. Okay. The other one's going to get pretty big, and I guess making a bell is hard, but I'm not going to dwell on bell. This great bell, the one that was so big, supposed to be this one with the little bell around it. It's just crazy. Who's going to believe that bronze bell, largest ever? Here's a crocodile constellation was not in the right spot, but they built it anyway, and it's alleged to have an unpleasant tone. Where do you get almost 300 tons of bronze, which is this bell includes silver, gold, as well as copper and tin. That makes bronze. 12 cubits. That's more than 12 cubits, I think. But I don't know. I found in a fair hall a very large bell, which when measured was found to be 7 paces and 3 handbreadths. It is full of letters from the top to the bottom, but there was no nation that could understand them. Crazy list of bells. Here's another bell. It's not the smallest, but it's one of the oldest. It's held up by stylized fire-breathing dragons. And it's still, I guess, where they found it, type of Corinthian column on the top. Come on, ring that bell. You ever hear that one? Only the one picture of it also. This is the Single Men bell located in Yangon, Myanmar. Donated in 1779. They say they started it in 1776. It made the list of heaviest bells. Okay. Here's another bell, Buddhist temple, one of the 7 great temples located in Japan with the Buddhist thing. This one gets 41 pictures. I don't think they're going to focus on the bell. It has a big bell there. There it is, the bell free. So this temple was made for this bell. This part of the temple. There's the Buddha throwing hand signs. They found it. Yeah, they found it. Look at all of these millstones. Is that a millstone in the water? I have no idea what's going on with that. I thought there were millstones. But they're certainly, not natural. I don't think that. Look, is that an antenna? Is that the one they see the power coming off of? It might be. There's another national treasure. Probably worshiping Christ in the middle of the golden age. Wow. Note the caretaker standing at the base. Yeah, I don't believe their history in one little bit. There is the big bell. So they finally showed the big bell But this is more of a focus on the situation. They call the bell. You know, we can look up things to do, top destinations. Go see the bell. What number was that? Number 3, you can go see the bell in all of its glory. It's a mudflood town on the top of the situation. They're in every country, and man, they're never going to give us the truth. We're going to have to find it. Something going on. I touched on the strangeness of Harry Truman, the shopkeeper who was the vice president that took over, and got almost the 4 full years for FDR's 4th term. Shopkeeper from Kansas, 33-degree Freemason. Seems like it's a prop up for a continuation of the charismatic movement that's more merging with the Mormons and the charismatic Roman Catholics that started in Kansas City. No, there's no coincidence. There is only conspiracy.
People going through like Living Waters and some of those ministries where they have to break off generational things. And they started talking about things that were seemingly okay, but nefarious. There's a lot of those that I heard of, but the one that I remember most is the Masons. And so I continue to hear that conversation at IHOP KC and that whole world.
That IHOP is not International House of Pancakes. It's the International House of Prayer, Kansas City. Started that tongue-talking laughter movement.
What way were they talking about?
And these people were in that cult, and now they're not.
Well, talking just about how, if your family has a tie to them,
generational,
then you need to break it off because it's a curse, and the higher levels are satanic.
And again, we're not going to get into that.
And whether or not, I have no idea, but that was the first time I had been exposed to the nefarious side of Masonry in a real time way. And so I'm at IHOP KC hearing about all this stuff, and one of the big champions that people talk about from the platform at IHOP KC was Harry Truman, the president, right? Talked about Harry Truman all the time. He grew up right down the street, across the way from some of the property. And, there's a whole prophetic history, which I now think is a lie.
Good for you. Now, to put him in position, the whole situation, they had Harry Truman in position to fake atomic weapons with all of the mafias of the world, because there were no atomic weapons used in Japan. There is not the capability, based on the math that they show, that would make atomic weapons. They can't do it with their round numbers, thinking they know the speed of light. It's all the Operation Fishbowl. It's all a lie. They have not a foot to stand on. The guy breaks down a little bit of where is that about Alice Bailey? Well, here, Travis Bickle, he's a guy that is Tracy Bickle. They're charged with sex crimes, and they're big in the Charlie Kirk. It is the Charlie Kirk movement.
Because so many of them were not just Masons, but they were 33rd degree Masons. Now, there's a whole lot of conversation about Masonry, and there's a hoax that the whole satanic thing. But I think the thing that's most interesting that you talk about, and I want to hear more about it because you've just been immersed in this, is this Luciferianism and what that is and why it matters and how it's attached to the Masons. Because this new thing, and it's a little facetious, Trisha Tillen's title, The New Thing, is there's nothing new under the sun, and the counterfeit has always been the counterfeit.
Mhm.
And one of the things that I think is fascinating when you study the Antichrist spirit unto the Antichrist as a being that shows up on the planet.
I think that's a good study. Studying the Antichrist as a spirit, because it says there are many antichrists among you, and not a particular being, because the beast and the false prophet is referred to as a it at one point.
There's a pathway. See, that's my word. That's not a new agey creepy word. That's just there's a like kind of like an on ramp for how that's going to happen. And one of the things that I always was surprised when I would read about,
We got to take our time sometimes and build up, and you can't just go, I'm going to click off. I need something to go like Charlie Kirk's alive.
Bible, in the Bible, in Revelation, was, and I told you this yesterday. I've always thought if I try and preach the gospel to someone and they don't receive it, I usually go back to the Lord and go, okay, I must not have been clear, or maybe they didn't hear it right, or because I got in the way and I didn't give I'm kind of not the best wordsmith, and I'm pretty wordy, in case you haven't noticed.
I think you're good at your words,
right?
but
I can be.
So you get the idea. Go ahead, man.
The God of heaven because of their pains and their sores. And they did not repent of their deeds. And that's from Revelation 16, verse 11.
Where's the
But
Alice
after the different
Bailey
angels
thing?
are
Because
releasing
Alice
the bowls
Bailey
of wrath at the end of it,
was
almost every
the
section, it says
theosophist. I wonder if there she is.
Showing what the other side is actually trying to do. But he had said concerning Alice Bailey, three main channels through which the preparation for this new paradigm, this new age, is going on, or might be regarded, is the church, the Masonic fraternity, and the educational field. So there were three ways in which Alice Bailey felt regeneration could happen: with the churches, with the educational field, and through the Masonic fraternity. Those were going to be
the educational field is what they called normal schools, where they would have universities to say, here's what we are going to teach as norms. Anybody who doesn't believe the norms will brand them flat earth conspiracy theorists. Go.
Inroads to changing everything. And I think
from Jesus to another God,
basically changing everything from what was up until that time that she was writing. And again, I believe this is in between the years of, I've got it right here, 1919 to 1949. She actually published the externalization of the hierarchy, I believe, in 1957. But this is when all the writings were going on. So the moving of the Judeo-Christian God, the one that she saw,
into a charismatic, talking, accepting of Roman Catholic and Mormons. I did have to look up the IHOP wiki, the International House of Prayer, had to change it to International House of Prayer, Kansas City. Parent suicide, justifying homosexuality, the head of that, for a religious experience, allegedly through the coercion of this relationship that Moore claimed that group leader, IHOP PU graduate, ordered his wife's murder to prevent her from telling her therapist about sexual assaults from other men, the pastor included. There's something just really the whole Charlie Cook movement and the way they're bringing it now and going to expose evangelical Christianity, and they're going to need another Glenn Beck type situation where he's going to, as a Mormon, well, the wide road is going to appreciate he was brought to the world by Rush Limbaugh. another one that could have been on that PDF file list.
All right, now let's go over this in slow motion right here because there's a couple things that happen really, really fast. This guy in the gray jacket right here, I don't know if you can see him. You'll be able to see him here in a second as soon as this ICE agent gets out of the way. But as soon as the ICE agent moves to the left, this guy with the gray jacket pulls what looks to be a gun, and it looks like it's coming from the back of Preddy's waistband. Check this out. So there's this little skirmish right here. Now look at this. He's got something in his hand. It looks like he's holding a gun. Just going to go frame by frame. It doesn't look like a cell phone. That looks like a gun. And it doesn't look like, I mean, it's pretty grainy. There's a lot of compression on this, lack of clarity, but it doesn't look to me like that agent has his finger on the trigger. So I don't think he fired the first shot. Now let's back this up. And I want to show you Preddy's hands. When Preddy goes down, here's Preddy right here with his hands up. He just got sprayed in the face by the bear.
Yeah. So he does have a gun in his waistband. He legally has a gun. He doesn't pull it, doesn't do anything. The idea of this situation is this woman who is sitting on the ground was just pepper sprayed, and this guy didn't like that she was pepper sprayed and went to help her.
Air spray. When he gets taken down to the ground, now just keep the colors in mind. Preddy's got like a Carhartt type of jacket and lighter colored pants and dark boots, just so we can identify him when they start dogpiling him. So here's Preddy right here. There's his pant leg. Now you can see Preddy's leg right here, dark boots. Here's the bottom of his boot right here with the yellow tag. Now you can see his hand briefly right here. This is Preddy's right hand. And where he was formerly holding a cell phone, it looked like he put the cell phone in his right jacket pocket. So right here, you can see Preddy's right hand. And there's his left hand. So you see left and right hand visible just seconds before the first shot goes off. There's both of Preddy's hands are still on the ground. There they are again. You can clearly see both hands right there. Here's his right hand. There's his left hand. You can see the flesh color. There you can see it again, separated right there. There's his right hand on top, left hand on the bottom, keeping his body stationary. It looks like they're all on ice. Now this woman with the long jacket gets in the way. ICE agent gets in the way. And right before the ICE agent passes in the way, this looks to be Preddy's right hand still. There's Preddy's right hand going up in the air. I don't see anything in that hand. There could be. I just don't see it. Looks like that's his left hand right there. I could be mistaken. Again, you can see his right hand. Now the guy in the gray jacket right here is going to pull away from the pile. Looks like he's got a gun. We're going to find out. We're going to try to find out where that gun came from. If this came from Preddy, where was Preddy holding that gun on his body? And I want to show you in relation to what happened right here, where the shots ring out. Listen. Boom, that's shot number one. Now you can clearly see that shot number one rang out. If this is Preddy's gun, Preddy is not in possession of his gun when that initial shot rings out because the guy with the gray jacket already has it. Boom, right there. Preddy's gun is right here. If indeed that's Preddy's gun. 1, 2, 3, 3 more shots. So you got a total of. Preddy looks like he's got a problem with it. Holds his hands up. Bear spray in the face, right there. The ICE agent continues to spray him as Preddy tries to turn his face away. Now, you know, Preddy is probably having trouble breathing right here. His eyes are probably closed because he's trying to clear that stuff out of his eyes, and the ice agent just continues to spray. As it appears to me, Preddy's trying to help this lady up, or this female up, off of the ice or out of the snow, and kind of tripping over her in the process. Now they're trying to pull Preddy off of this woman. Looks like he's trying to help her up. Preddy's still got his left hand on her. Now Preddy is down on the ground.
What's wrong with you? Honestly.
And here's Preddy's head right here. And you'll see one of these.
Yeah, this is going to be hard.
The right hand of this agent with the gray jacket pulls Preddy's gun, or what looks like Preddy's gun, and walks away. First shot right there. Now we'll count the shots, but let's go over this in slow motion. Just frame by frame. Now it looks like the guy with the gray jacket is trying to pull this.
It looks like they murdered this guy and just thought, well, if he has a gun, I can shoot him. And everybody on the left and the right have already predetermined, you know, well, he had a gun, he took it to a protest, you could shoot him. Not that it's illegal to take a gun to a protest, but it's right there. Let's do some Bible study. The Lord our God, the Lord is one. You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your might. That's what's commanded. Teach them diligently to your children. The idea that there was one, the first day, they gather them into one place. That's the word we're looking at. Half the time, a man and a woman physically, emotionally become one through the very sacred act of sexual copulation. And there is a right way and a wrong way to do it. One people, one mind, one day. The Lord our God is one. One Yahweh our God. Yahweh is God. Hear, Israel. Yahweh is our God. One. There's just no getting around to these things. In Matthew, let's see, I think I wanted way down here. Whose inscription on it? Caesar teaches, Moses declared. How are we going to do it? You are mistaken because you don't know the scriptures or the power of God. In the resurrection, people will neither marry nor be given in marriage. Instead, they will be like the angels in heaven. Now, the bad people are trying to say, well, this only says it's in heaven. Maybe when they're on earth, spirit beings can conceive physical children. Because we know they're not omniscient, omnipotent, omnipresent. I doubt if they can overshadow a womb and chemically start a child, but they don't care. So in their argument, they're going to say, well, it's in heaven, because they don't care about the truth. The angels of God in heaven. Well, that's where they dwell. That's where they stand before God. There's no doubt, the angeloi are going to do it. I also have pulled up Mark 12:29. For in the resurrection, neither do they marry. So that's 22. Here's Mark 12. The foremost is, hear, O Israel, Lord God, Lord is one. This would have been a perfect time in this situation, if we can, we'll look at 12:29, put it in context, and just say, one of the scribes came up, which commandment is the most important of all? This is the most of all. There is one God. Love that one God with all your heart, soul, and mind, all your strength. Love your neighbor as yourself. This would have been a perfect time to say, Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one of three. You should love these three gods. There wouldn't have been the, our one equals three. The Lord our God is one. No other commandment is greater than this. Right, teacher, the scribe replied. You have stated correctly that God is one, and there is no other but him. And to love him with all your heart, with all your understanding, and with all your strength, and to love your neighbor as yourself, this is the more important than all burnt offering and sacrifices. Well, that's the truth. And he said, You're not far. You're still not there. And this could be the rich young man, but we know the rich young man said, the world, the world, the world. I love to have greetings in the marketplace. I love honor at banquets. I like it when people say, Your prayer stirred me. But there is a difference between contributing to God, doing great things in his name out of surplus. But when you have ceased, when you're resting in God, you live on him. You know there will be suffering, there will be lack, but all things work together to good for to them who love Christ Jesus. All things have been handed over to me, it says, by my Father, and no one knows who the Son is except my Father, or who the Father is except the Son, and anyone whom the Son chooses to reveal. Well, we better look at that, because it just seems that there's all types of, it's the Father of me. And no one knows who is the Son if the Father. It seems very to reveal him, Son to reveal. But maybe if we read it in the English one more time in a couple of different places. Let me go back. 22. All things have been handed over to me by the Father, by the Spirit. No one knows who the Son is except the Father, and who the Father is except the Son, and anyone to whom Son chooses to reveal him. Blessed are the eyes that see what you see, he said to the disciples privately. For I tell you that many prophets and kings desire to see what you see and did not see it, and to hear what you hear and did not see it. There are, the Lord our God is one. Nobody ever believed anything but that. Now, this is going to be a shorter thing, but it comes down to this. The New Testament teaches that Gentiles, the light was for them too. They're part of all nations that will be blessed by Jesus. And we see all of the revelations that The Gentiles spoke in tongues. They were given 4 requirements. They didn't have to keep the whole law. They didn't have to be circumcised. The New Testament either teaches the great mysterion was that the Gentiles can be saved and are equal in God's eyes, and that a narrow road from all nations will be saved, or it teaches that the Old Testament was hiding that God is 3 people. Those are your choices. The God is one. Jesus is our God who died for us, only holy and pure, or that there's a Trinity. Because I know as a human Gentile, I have the Comforter with me. I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that the mud flood was Armageddon. It's a flat Earth nation. The golden age is past, and we're ruled by Masonic, Freemason, Rosicrucian, Jesuit, John Birch, who have us thinking it's about the economy, stupid, instead of about abortion and the worship of Moloch, which is worshiping God. Moloch is their sacrifice, offering their children. There is no doubt it's a flat earth nation. The golden age is past. That's why me and my friends aren't going to tell you anything else. We know we're called, we're chosen, we're faithful, because before the foundation of the earth, we've been called and chosen, that we have works to do that will glorify his name. And on that day, after we've been saved by grace, we'll be judged by our works. Jesus said if he gave you 5 talents, he expects you to double it. You use them to glorify his name, and you will be more, because he is a rewarder of a specific type of group of people, those who diligently seek him. Now, I remind you, if the righteous scarcely be saved, what chance have the lukewarm or those sitting on a fence? Think about that. Amen, hallelujah, aho, aloha, arrivederci, ciao, sayonara, auf Wiedersehen, nakame. Adios, amigos, from the border of southern Colorado and New Mexico. That's still how I like to